We're all done with the third caution of the day. They'll get the green this time around. Jeff Gordon leading Joe Nemechek, Scott Wimmer, who went from 11th to 3rd during this caution flag with a good stop. The McDonald's drive-through championship fueled by Powerade. They're the standings after 8 of 36 races among the teams that choose to compete in this competition. Big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for the team with the least amount of time spent on pit road throughout the season. Gordon, Nemechek, Wimmer, then Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kevin Harvick, Robbie Gordon, Brian Vickers, the Busch champion and rookie, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart, the top 10 at pace speed, 70 miles an hour roughly. And then they'll grab a gear and we'll go back to green, finishing up the third caution period of the day.
You know, it's pretty cool without a speedometer or anything else. Just got a tack, speed limit 70 mile an hour. Guys are dead on it.
See the Fox tracks on Robbie Gordon back there in 6th position. Now on Brian Vickers, who's back in 7th in the 25 car, up to speed through the gearbox.
One of the reasons they hang out next to the wall like that is so you can only pass to the right. So if a guy behind you anticipates that start and you leave a little room, he can get up beside you.
Once you get past the start-finish line, you can do what Dale Jr. just did, drop to the bottom as he passes Scott Wimmer for 3rd.
Anticipating those restarts is very, very important with these high gears and low horsepower.
We also see teammates right there, Kevin Harvick in the 29, Robbie Gordon at the 31, stacking up behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., working the high side. Scott Wimmer, of course, in the 22 car, remember, had that great 3rd place run back in the Daytona 500 with this very car. Definitely been the highlight of his season.
And did it with some good pit strategy, too.
Yes, sir.
I think that's how he got up there just now.
Wimmer, the best Dodge in the race right now. Jeff Burton is the best Ford in 9th place.
Here comes the Pied Piper.
yeah. Oh, follow me, baby. If I was out there, I'd be looking for him all day long. Where you go, I go. You go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom.
All right, let's get an update on caution flag stops. First to Jeannie.
Well, guys, you were talking about the usefulness of teammates, and there's some other uses as well. The 42 car of Jamie McMurray did the courtesy for the 41 teammate of Casey Mears. Checking out his car, he said, you do have some damage to that right front, and he did start to feel some tire rub, Casey, that is, and you can see right here, it was rubbing on that right front tire. That fender was pushed in. He made the pit stop. They did the repairs to the car with a whole lot of tape and gave him 4 new tires. Matt?
Jeannie, Ron Malik and Joe Zanolini did a lot of work on that left rear quarter, Chad. How bad's the damage?
I don't think the damage is really that bad. Our car is just terrible today. I hate to say it. I don't know what happened. I mean, yesterday we were great in happy hour, real happy with the car from the time we unloaded, but today it's just terrible. So I don't know what's happened, but we'll keep working on it. I can promise you that. We'll get the low Chevrolet back up there and we'll get us a good top 10 out of this day.
Chris Osborne, his spotter, came on and told Jimmy, I apologize. The 42 had such a great run, so fast, I didn't even have a chance to key the mic to tell you.
We saw that in the Busch race yesterday, and I have to believe it's this little bit different construction of tire. A lot of cars fighting handling issues. And normally, handling's not an issue at Talladega.
Yeah, I just wondered, Chad said the car is terrible. I just wondered if it was a handling issue.
Michael Waltrip behind Kevin Harvick for 2nd or 3rd place, depending on how you mark it.
Tell you what, I watched that inside line, that old Home Depot car. Tony Stewart in that 20, he's starting to make a move here. Getting some help from Kurt Busch in the 97 car, Mark Martin in the 6.
And every time they put up the safer barriers, everybody says, oh, it's going to affect the racing. And I have yet to see where it's affected anything. Darlington here, wherever we go, the guys just adjust to it and keep on digging.
And we were watching early in the race, Rusty Wallace here in the 2 cars we ride with him. He's been working that high line, and right now I think he has his teammate right behind him in the 12 car. And look at Jimmy Johnson. That car's not too bad, Chad. Matt Yoakum.
Larry, what Chad Canals was talking about, the car during final practice sucked up awesome. Now he says the car just will not suck up as well as Jimmy needs. He's really got to work a lot harder to get that 48 car to cut up through traffic.
Matt, one of the problems you run into when you're out there with a few cars is your car will it'll run a lot differently than it will when it's in this mess right here. Air is so disturbed, it's moving all over the place. sometimes you're just not getting air into the carburetor.
And that's something, like we talked earlier, you just can't duplicate in practice.
And that's why when we see them out there in practice running like they're racing, you've got to do that in order to give feedback to the crew.
3 wide, back to 3 wide. 3 wide, 3 wide.
This is big right here, guys.
Tony Stewart, who restarted ninth, has the lead, but for how long? He's on the high side, and they're all lined up beneath him and behind him.
Oh, this is huge.
5th time that Tony has led a cup race at Talladega.
Everybody's got to mind their manners here.
Tell you what, looks like Kevin Harvick in that 29 car, he got quite a run through the middle of 1 and 2, but Tony was on the high side off 2 in the 20 car, and he got the run. Won the battle off turn 2.
If you have to squeeze out of the throttle or touch the brake, either one, you lose so much momentum that they just sail around you.
There are 40 cars in this pack of 43 that started.
Now look at the front of this pack. I see a lot of our rookies. We're looking back at Brian Vickers over there in the 25 car. You got Scott Wimmer right beside him in the 22 car. A lot of our rookies. Some of them making their first start here at Talladega, right up there in the front, like veterans.
And you know what they'd say? Oh, this is fun.
This is cool.
Stewart under pressure as they get 4 wide. Kevin Harvick on the bottom. Takes the lead.
And as
Gives it back.
As Darrell was talking earlier, 4 wide, this racetrack is plenty wide enough, but these cars move around and bounce around so much, all it takes is one bounce the wrong way, and you got the big one.
That yellow car right in the center of your screen, that cat car, is rookie Scott Wimmer. Steve?
And Mike, Larry Mack was right. His 3rd place finish at Daytona, his best finish of the year on that last pit stop. They took fuel only, no tires, no adjustments. Scott Wimmer likes the way that car's handling.
Boy, I don't. Man, I just saw that thing get loose up here in the middle of 3 and 4. And Larry, it looks to me like that's an issue with some of these guys right now. Their cars look real loose.
And I think that possibly is a product of this little different construction of tire that Goodyear's running here.
4 wide where Wimmer is. Now it gets down to 3 abreast.
Not for long.
Junior the leader. Harvick coming back on the inside with Stewart. Harvick back to the lead. Remember, the lead changes only count if there's a different leader at the start-finish line than there was last time. So far, 12 drivers have made a total of 16 lead changes.
I love our scoring monitor. There's 38 cars in this pack, and what it indicates is if we see a green dot, they held their position. A blue or red arrow indicates they changed position. There's no green dots on this scoring monitor. Every car in the top 39 changed positions that last lap.
Dick Berggren.
Now, Mike, I'm very close to the racetrack. Probably as close as anybody can get and watch what's going on. And what I'm seeing is frightening. These guys are all over each other. Front bumpers into back bumpers, all through this pack of 3 and 4 wide. I went through the garage this morning and I asked people about those bumpers. And in team after team, I was told these are the strongest bumpers they run all year. The stuff they've got here at Talladega, so they can bump draft. I'll tell you what, it's frightening to watch from where I am.
To put this in perspective for the folks at home, you don't park this close.
No, and in the 8 car, Dale Jr. just turned down in front of Brian Vickers, and they made a little contact back there on the back straightaway.
And there's a fine line. You want that front bumper just as strong as you can where that nose don't give in, but you don't want that rear bumper so strong that when somebody's bump drafting you, they can spin you out.
Darrell, you said Junior turned down on Vickers. We saw under caution where his A-post mirror, the windshield post mirror that was Velcroed on, fell off. He didn't have that mirror to rely on.
No, he was up there adjusting on it. It was Velcroed to the roll bar, and it fell off as he was riding along, so he doesn't have that working right now.
So right now, he's totally dependent on Stevie Reeves, his spotter above us, and coming off turn 4, the spotters really don't get a perspective of being clear because they're coming right at the spotters.
Kevin Harvick will give you perspective. He's got the lead with Tony Stewart. You're riding with Junior in 3rd, Michael Waltrip on the outside. Kevin Harvick, one of 13 different leaders today so far at Talladega in just 48 laps.